I've met Muslims that speak passionately about their love for Allah, their devotion to their religion. You have recitations of the Quran, big events, and people chant, and there's a beauty to it, and you have people studying the laws and feeling it's very wonderful. Has Islam primarily through the centuries grown through intellectual and spiritual conversion, where people find out about the beauties of this faith and turn to it, or has it grown more through the sword or coercion? Could you make a general statement one way or the other?
You can go back to the very first generation when Muhammad was preaching. Hey, listen to these wonderful revelations. Look at my beautiful verses. He won very few followers. You're talking between 100 and 200 over a more than 10-year period, right? So more than 10 years of preaching, he won 100 to 200 followers, telling people about his beautiful revelations. It was once he left Mecca, moved to Medina, started building an army, and promised his followers, hey, if you join me, we're going to take people's stuff. We're going to divide up the spoils. If you die, you're going to go and be blessed with, endless virgins in paradise and so on. And then, if you don't die, you survive, then we're going to divide up the spoils. That's when Islam started exploding. And that's kind of the pattern you see over the ages. The two ways Islam spreads most rapidly, especially early on, was the sword, right? I mean, if you look, you can look at decade by decade maps, right? Islam, from tiny little origin in Arabia, almost instantly spread all the way, throughout the Middle East, all the way across northern Africa and up into Europe in the West, and then in the East marched all the way out until they were touching India and China. And so this is a massive, massive, rapid expansion, and it's not, oh, look at these beautiful verses. It just wasn't. It was military. It was armies marching out, marching forward, and you had to convert or die. So that's one of the main ways Islam has spread historically. The other main way that Islam spreads, and it's more relevant more recently, where you don't have Islam marching out as you used to. More recently, the explosive growth of Islam is primarily due to birth rates. Wherever you go, if you look at the Middle East, if you look at Europe, if you look at Asia, wherever you look, Northern Africa, wherever you look at the statistics. Islam has the highest birth rates of everyone else, and it has to do with Islam's with the treatment of women in Islam. If girl in the West, she finishes school, she might go off to college, she gets a career and stuff, and she might not have her first child until she's 25, 30 years old. In Islam, many girls are married off 12, 13, 14 years old. By the time they're 25, they got 6 or 7 kids. And so this just, causes a much more rapid growth of a system. And what's interesting is the same Pew Research study that Muslims point to say, you see, Islam's the fastest growing religion. It says that. It says that the primary reason for the growth of Islam right now is Islam has the highest birth rates wherever you go. And so what a Muslim could say when he wants to say, you see, it's growing rapidly. Something growing rapidly doesn't tell us that it's good or true. I mean, coronavirus is spreading rapidly. It doesn't tell you a lot, right? But if they really wanted to say what they mean according to the evidence, they'd have to say Islam is spreading rapidly because Muslims believe in sources that present a very low view of women, which causes women to have nothing to do in life other than make babies, and this gives us high birth rates and causes our religion to grow rapidly. Therefore, it must be from God. And I would say that is a very strange argument.